Welcome back to Open Source. It's true.
Yeah.
Becca Brazil is on the show today for the second time. I'm actually excited to ask you this question because I don't know how you're going to answer it. And I know that you have a very sophisticated point of view when it comes to the contemporary sort of like marketing entertainment landscape, right? I really just think that there's certain people that I know who they kind of just are tapped into the people or something. That's you. You're one of them for sure, right? And I don't know the answer to this because I do work in legacy media, but I guess my question is if social media influencers have so much power, which they do we still need social? Do we need legacy media? Do we need me? Do I matter at all?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
We
thank you. Show's
100
over. Great. That's all I needed.
we 100% need legacy media. It brings depth, it brings structure,
Mhm.
credibility. Social media brings immediacy, right? But credibility, social media, immediacy, they all complement each other. So we need both. And when you have a brand, if you don't have legacy media, people are not going to believe that what you're talking about is actually credible. So
Mm.
I always tell people, that's why I'm in PR. Having magazine articles come out about you, being on TV segments, being on a podcast, or getting interviewed by the news or whatever. It's super important because if you don't have that, then the credibility is just not there.
So that makes sense. Look, I mean, of course, you have a sophisticated point of view, and that's why you're on the show. Because there's the conversation is always like you have to choose: is it this or is that? Is it legacy or is that? Is that? But you're really advocating it's a blend, right?
It's a blend. Because if you're not on legacy media, which as we discussed is like newspapers, radio, television, magazines, then you're just showing up on the internet, right? But when people Google you, nothing's going to be coming up about you
Mm.
except your social media, like persona or your Instagram page or your TikTok page. And that's great. We could be whoever we want on our TikTok. We could make up a completely fake human, right? But if there's no actual legacy media talking about you or what you're doing or why you're doing it or what's the reason behind it, then eventually you might even just fade away because people want to know more. They want to know
Mhm.
deeper. And if you can't get deeper, then the legacy media needs to do that for you, right?
You answered this so perfectly. I mean, I'm not shocked, but it's going to be one of our most popular episodes, I think. Let's talk metrics because it's interesting what you're saying. Again, people are like, "Oh, how many followers? How many?" But what you're saying is it's kind of like all of those things combined, right? Is that right?
Yeah. So I would say always engagement over vanity.
Mm.
Views and likes are cool, but comments, shares, saves, and actual real conversations, that's where the magic is. So, for brands or any type of partnerships that you're going to get, obviously they're looking at that engagement. So if that's not there, then you're basically just, and I think
Mhm.
eventually you also start feeling bad about it too, because if it's just about the likes and the likes are never going to be as high as you want, a lot of people buy or have
Mhm.
like a lot of bots that can help them with that engagement. But you deep down kind of know, like, that's not real engagement. So if you could just
Mhm.
try to continue pushing yourself, because there are people out there that want to hear you, that want to see you. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be all you need to do is show up and you might inspire someone with your story. So just
Mhm.
forget about the vanity, really try and show up for a reason and a purpose. And that's what's going to actually get you somewhere.
Well, it's interesting. Look, we only have a minute to get to commercial, but on Threads, for example, I have like 9,000 followers. It's pretty good, but there's people who have way more, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. But I have like millions of views. The engagement is so high. I'll write a sentence and get 600 comments, right? Like, is this kind of what we're trying to do in social media?
Exactly that, Bobby. So you are actually creating something. People want to hear what you have to say. It doesn't matter about the followers. Um, And that's the cool thing about the reach nowadays on
Mhm.
Instagram, on TikTok, on Threads. It's not about who's following you, it's about actually putting out content that people wanna see. So your people who are non-followers, they're finding your content, they're wanting to share it, they're wanting to comment on it. that is key in
Right.
today to be out to be who, who I
Becca,
guess has that.
why is this not a 98-hour show? We have to go to commercial. We got Becca Brazil on open source.